You say sorry before you even know why. Someone interrupts you. You apologize. You ask for clarification. You apologize. You express a preference. You soften it with sorry, but it's automatic, reflexive, almost invisible. But here's the paradox. The habit that once protected you is now quietly erasing you. At some point in your life, apologizing wasn't politeness, it was survival. It lowered the emotional temperature. It prevented conflict. It helped you stay connected in environments where connection felt fragile. So you learned something powerful and dangerous at the same time. If I make myself smaller, I'll be safer, and it worked. Until shrinking became your personality. Excessive apologizing is rarely about manners. It's often rooted in the fawn response, a trauma pattern where you appease to avoid threat. Instead of fighting, instead of fleeing, you soothe. If you grew up in an unpredictable emotional environment, you may have developed anxious attachment. Love felt conditional. Approval felt unstable. So your nervous system adapted. Your brain became hyper-attuned to tone shifts, facial expressions, subtle pauses. This is hypervigilance. When your amygdala becomes overly sensitive to social threat. Disagreement doesn't just feel uncomfortable, it feels unsafe. Over time, this rewires your internal compass. Instead of asking, "What do I feel?" you ask, "How am I being perceived?" Your identity becomes externally regulated. If you were emotionally responsible for others, you did a form of parentification. Apologizing may have been how you stabilized chaos. You learned to anticipate needs, smooth tension, and take blame before blame was assigned. Sorry became your insurance policy. Your nervous system equated conflict with rejection, needs with danger, assertion with abandonment. So you apologize. Not because you're wrong, but because you're afraid. But self-erasure has consequences. When you apologize excessively, you subtly send yourself a message. My existence is disruptive. You trade authenticity for harmony. You trade truth for approval. You trade self-respect for safety. And as Carl Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But becoming who you are requires tolerating discomfort. It requires surviving moments where you are misunderstood, where you are not instantly validated. If your nervous system equates that with loss of love, you will do anything to avoid it. So simple things become complicated. Sending an email becomes rewriting it 5 times. Saying no becomes a guilt spiral. Expressing a boundary requires a paragraph of justification. The core fear beneath chronic apologizing isn't politeness. It's the fear of being too much, or not enough, or one mistake away from disconnection. You apologize to secure belonging, but belonging built on your disappearance is not belonging at all. It's quiet loneliness. This doesn't disappear with age, it evolves. You might apologize before presenting ideas, even when you're the most competent person in the room. You might over-explain your boundaries to avoid seeming mean. You might stay in unbalanced relationships because asserting your needs feels selfish. You might replay minor conflicts for hours, convinced you caused them. You might default to self-blame and disagreements. You might say sorry when someone else inconveniences you. These are not personality flaws, they are coping strategies. And here's the crucial shift. You don't heal this by shaming yourself into confidence. You heal it by witnessing the pattern without attacking it. Instead of saying, "Why am I like this?" you ask, "When did I learn that my needs were dangerous?" You begin catching the micro-apologies. You pause before the reflex. You replace one sorry with silence. Awareness is the beginning of reclaiming yourself. Healing excessive apologizing is not about becoming confrontational. It's about teaching your nervous system that authenticity is safe, that disagreement is survivable, that boundaries do not equal abandonment. This is where inner child reparenting becomes powerful. The part of you that apologizes reflexively is younger than you think. It learned that safety required self-minimization. Instead of silencing it, you reassure it. You practice replacing sorry with thank you. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for listening. You experiment with smaller explanations. shorter sentences, clearer boundaries. You allow minor discomfort to exist without rushing to repair it. This is shadow work, integrating the parts of yourself you once hid to stay loved. And slowly your nervous system recalibrates. You realize something radical. You were never too much. You were just trained to equate presence with risk. The goal is not to stop being kind. Your empathy is not the problem. The goal is to detach kindness from self-erasure. Because real connection doesn't require you to shrink. The right people can handle your voice, your needs, your boundaries, your silence. You do not need to apologize for existing. You need to practice existing without apology. Healing is not about fixing what's broken. It's about reclaiming what was suppressed. And the moment you stop apologizing for taking up space is the moment you finally begin to inhabit it. If this resonated, share it with someone who still whispers sorry when they mean, I belong here. Because the truth is simple, you were never the problem. You were protecting yourself, and now you're allowed to stop.